This is a very serious message. This is a very serious message.
Let's hold, please. Rewind the tape. Coming to you live from the center of the Earth. Well, not exactly from the center of the Earth, but maybe from the center of your universe or galaxy, depending on your point of view. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America. To all Americans now spread out across the globe, and to those here at home. Now is the time to look up. Have hope, America. America is stronger now than it has ever been in 250 years. And, of course, that is my opinion. Maybe you have the same opinion. Or maybe you say America is failing. From my point of view, America is winning, succeeding, and greater than ever before. America is the greatest nation on this earth, dear friends. And the American way is the best way, in my book. Yeah, I'm only talking about my opinion here. My opinion. And if you have a different opinion than mine, that's okay, fine. Of course you're going to have your own opinion, whether it lines up with mine or not. Because everybody's got one. Everybody has an opinion. You want to show each other our opinions? Yeah. Come on, man. Everybody's got one. You know it and I know it. You want to smell it? Yeah. Nobody wants to smell it. But I might want to hear it sometimes if you want me to hear it. And other times I might not want to hear it. But you might want to say it. You might want to show it. Maybe I don't want to look at it. You might want me to smell it, and maybe I don't want to smell it. But, you know, opinions, everybody's got one, or two, or more. Yeah, you want to smell it? I know, we're getting a little absurd here. It's a little over the top. But, come on, man, opinions? You know what they are like. Everybody's got one. And just because you have one doesn't mean it has to look like or smell like a mine. Yeah, everybody's opinion's going to smell, be different. So, yeah, my opinion is that America is the greatest nation on God's green earth. And that the American way is the best way. And I wish we could make it possible for every nation on earth to live and enjoy the American way. And now let me add this to that, to explain all of that. Just because I say the American way is the best way, it doesn't mean, of course, I'm not apologizing for America, but I am apologizing for the behavior of those who wear the name of America. Often their behavior does not represent America. The greatness of America lies not in the fault or the weakness of its most flawed member, members or cast members or representatives or characters, shall we say, but rather in its highest goals, and that Americans, as America, are always moving towards that highest goal. And whether we reach it or not in our lifetime or our lifetimes, we know that since America was birthed, since it came into living being, we, as of 1970s, or rather 1776, with the Declaration of Independence, it has been a constant moving forward, a growing, a growth of progress. So, do you want to say or talk about let's make America great again? Well, let's do it, baby. We're making America great again right now, just by talking to each other and listening to each other. And look, man, even though you have an opinion that's different from mine, possibly, and I might have one that's different from yours, regarding whether or not America is now great, one thing we both agree on, and that is America can always be improved. And if you don't see it that way, if you don't agree with that, then you don't agree with the founders. As I see it. Now, this is according to the books that I've read, my opinion, and you'll see this in my books. So this is the reason why I always tell everybody, according to me, well, that's the way it is in my book. You might have your book or books, and of course I have mine, my books. And then there are other books. To the writing of books, there is no end. And it's all meaningless, just like it says in the book. So, as I was saying, America is the greatest nation on this earth, this planet. And it is, of course, very young, and I would say still in the experimental stages of progress and growth. Very much still in need of care and guidance as it grows up into this, the following. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and that these rights, now listen to me, you know the thing, but I'm going to tell you, these rights include the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness. Yeah. And I might add that this or that has nothing to do with going to heaven, but it does have everything to do with being an American and having the American attitude and doing it and living life the American way. The American way is to make progress towards this goal, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And you know the thing, but I'm going to say it anyways. These include these rights we're talking about: the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness. And that's got nothing to do with going to heaven. Yeah, just thought I needed to say that again for a lot of people out there. And they seem to be getting this confused with being a Christian or being an American or being anything else. Dodgers fan or an Angels fan, possibly. Clippers or Lakers. Also, while we're on the subject, some of these people are very concerned with, I would dare even say obsessed with, how their fellow Americans position their bodies and touch their bodies and where they put their hands on their bodies and how long they hold it there during the playing of certain notes and certain musical combination of musical notes in succession at certain sporting events or race car activities, and even at some church meetings, functions, and religious agency organizational meetings. But they're just concerned with what a person does with their body and how they touch their body and what they do with it during this time that they're playing certain musical notes in a certain order during certain sporting activities and race car events. I mean, that's all there is to it. And that has nothing to do with being an American. And it also has nothing to do with being a Christian. But it does have to do with somebody's opinion. And of course, I say, sure, have an opinion. It's normal to have one. Everybody's got one. Y'all want to thumbnail mine? But come on, man, it's nothing to divide over. It's nothing to Even look, a Supreme Court decision regarding anything could be or might be a cause for someone in their mind to feel as though they must arise in some way, either physically or mentally or socially, possibly artistically or musically, and in some way work to accomplish the following: to dissolve the bands and the bonds which place them in connection with, or to be working in cooperation with, or under the governance of a particular rule or powers, as in the United States of America and the American government. So a lot of these people, and I'm not saying who it is, which side, all sides, any side, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are talking this way. A lot of people are acting this way. A lot of people have opinions. Everybody's got one. Let me get my nose up there. But come on, man. Supreme Court decisions. We're not talking Harper's Ferry here. It's no need. Not that I would ever advocate for such. Look, man, some of these people are going John Brown. There's no reason for it. Look up. We have a rule book. We each and all have different opinions, a different way of looking at things, how things might be accomplished, how we want to raise our kids. But in the end, we have a system and a set of rules for attaining and maintaining this ideal, this goal. That we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And you know the thing. Yeah, these include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we have a way to get there and keep that going, and it's called the U.S. Constitution. And it means sometimes things are going to go one way, and other times it's going to go another way. Look, man, listen, for a long time it was okay in this country, America, and I'm not happy about this, but now it's different, for people to own other people as slaves. And that was changed. Beginning with the founding of this country, with the Declaration of Independence and then the U.S. Constitution, and by the work of the founders who themselves were slave owners, and one of them, as we well know, was a serial which word I'm not going to say on this program at this time. But we listen, and we know the founders had their flaws, and we know that they accomplished great things, potentially, and the implications of their work is that now black people are not only free, but they are president. Black people can be the president now, and so can women. And also, slavery has been outlawed by the 13th Amendment. Of course, others would argue that with Jim Crow came new ways of getting around the U.S. Constitution. And then, of course, came Lyndon Baines Johnson, who used the power of the presidency to force America to let black people go to the front of the line for just a little bit. And that helped because black people could then vote, of course, buy houses where they wanted to, and, of course, then eat and drink wherever they pleased and get married to the person that they wished. And this is because Lyndon Johnson took his job as president to the level of this, in this direction. As to what the motivations of these various men are and were, I could not say. I can only say the result of their work. And the result of their work was to add power and empowerment to this. That we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And that these rights include the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness. And that's the work of these men. Flawed men. Flawed men in many ways, failing men. These men were failing in many areas of their life, and many areas of their living, by our standards today. But by the standards of their day, they were progressive and looking ahead far into the future. Building a system and a structure for us today, so that we wouldn't have to resort to physically taking up arms against each other to change the system and to move things around to our preferences, our wishes, and our ultimate aspirations and hopes. As Lyndon Johnson said, we can make their vision our reality. We have the power to shape the civilization that we want. And we can do it. Let's do it. Friends, it's not perfect. People aren't perfect. Nobody is perfect. No president is, and will ever be. No president will ever be perfect. Because presidents are people. And that does have to do with being an American. Because in order to be an American, you have to be a person. Man, I don't care what the Supreme Court says. You got to be a person to be a citizen. But the Supreme Court says that corporations are people under the Constitution. Man, I think that's crazy. That's crazy talk to me. But that's how the Supreme Court sees it and has called it. So look, man, I might not agree with it, I might not like it, and I might hope to have it and see it changed. Taking this into also account, the abortion issue, which is a big issue with a lot of people, as well it should be, for all kinds of reasons. And this is a time in our country when, for some reasons, many reasons, it have to do with election results, abortion issues, Supreme Court decisions, all kinds of stuff, that many Americans are literally convulsing on the line, arguing in person, refusing to shake hands with each other across the aisle, so to speak. This is even infecting our churches, civic clubs, and the schools. To which I say this, to all Americans, my fellow Americans. It's a time to grow up. Look up. Act like Americans. We can do this. We're doing it now. We have the power. Listen, we have the power to shape the civilization that we want. And that's all the time we have for today, dear friends. And may we walk in the right as the good Lord gives us the ability to see that right. And may God protect our troops. And may God bless the United States of America. Good night.
This is a very serious message, and we may take a humorous tone every now and then, but this is nonetheless a serious message, and we're not making fun of or jokes about any person or group because they are different. We're not saying that if you are different, therefore you are now the butt of our jokes, and now I'm going to make a joke about you because you're different, and I'm going to use this joke and these jokes to keep you different and keep you down, and then I'll get a laugh at your expense, and I will become more empowered and more advanced because of how I am using you to lift up myself. And we're not taking that approach here. That's not the approach we're taking. That's not what I'm doing. And hopefully that's not what you're doing. Friends, we're proclaiming the American way. And that is this: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that all men are created equal. And that every person that is now, whether you're an American or not, are created equal and are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, and these include the following. And you know the thing, but I'm going to say it anyways, the best I can recall: life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I might add, that has nothing to do with going to heaven, and that we haven't even gotten to the legal part yet. That's just the philosophy on which this is based. This is the starting point of America, right here. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.